Hello, my name is Dan Schwanekamp. I am a teacher in the math department. I've been using uh, recorded videos for my lessons this semester in with my independent study kids, and I've also used Schoology in a different way than most to try to get both my independent study kids and my quarantine students on the same page and try to make it easier for me. So I'm going to go through a couple things here. If you ever have any questions, please reach out to me. I will gladly help you with whatever I can. So the one thing that I did a little bit different than some was I created my own Schoology course. The reason I did that is because it allowed me to keep both my quarantine students and my independent students um, using assessments that I didn't want the rest of my students to have access to and be able to work back and forth. So here's what I did. If you go to the courses tab, I'm going to click on courses, and then up here in the top right hand corner, there's a my courses tab. So I'm going to click on that. Once I'm here, I can then look at my different courses, but the thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a course. So I'm going to click on that right there, and I'm going to create a new course. And so this is the course I created where it's going to be my at-home learners. So whether they're independent study or quarantine, it doesn't really matter to me. They're about the same. All right, so I'm going to give my course in that a name. So I'm going to call it at-home calculus just because. Um, Great. I've got a name. I think you got a section number, subject area. You do have to fill in this stuff or otherwise it won't work. The grading periods, it doesn't really matter because I'm going to end up having to do these manually. It's one of the downsides of what we're doing. But I think the way I'm doing this is going to make life easier in the long run. All right. So I created a course. Boom. There's my course. If I click on this, it's already popping up. The reason I like this is, again, I can have students be at home and do assessments. And so instead of having students come back and whether it's a homework assignment that I want them to do on here, or whether it is a at-home test or quiz or something like that that's a little bit different than the rest, I don't want everyone in my class to have access to that. I only want those students at home. And so by creating this course, I'm able to keep things a little bit different. I still have my regular Schoology classes with all of my content, but this course is going to be set up for me specifically for those assessments. And so the key to this is you have to add members. So I'm going to go down here to members on the left-hand side. I'm going to click on members. And then what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to manually add all of the students I want to this course. So if it's my independent study kids, I have 10, 20 kids, depending on my class. I could go through and manually add them. So the good news is for those students, I only have to add them once. So I click on people that I had in class. Boom, I add these two members. And so those are my independent study kids. They're going to stay in here no matter what. They're going to be good to go. Now, the reason I like this is, again, because quarantine, I can have kids come in and out. So if I had a kid that's on quarantine for a week and I want them to do the assignments that we're doing in class, I can then add that student as well. So I'm going to go to add members. And then again, I'm just adding whoever I want to add to this course. So boom, there's my new kid. He was quarantined. He's added to the mix. If a kid was out one day, I probably wouldn't do it. And maybe second semester, I'll adjust this a little bit because I won't have kids out quite as long. But it's the same idea. So these are my students in my class. And so then what I do each week is I'm going to create an assignment for them all. And so each week we have to complete an assignment with my kids just to make sure they're up to date. So I go add materials, add an assignment, and I'm going to post that assignment right here. Nothing fancy there. I don't do anything crazy with it, but I'm going to add an assignment for the week. And that way everyone is going to submit that on the same screen. And so when I go to grade it, they're all in this single class. I don't want to just add this assignment to my regular classes because then kids that are in class get confused. Do I need to do this? Yes or no? It's different. These are my at-home learners, and so they're going to be on a different page. I also like it because if I do an assessment, a test, or a quiz, I try to change what I do in class compared to my at-home kids, but I'm not going to change it a ton. And I don't really want them to have access to the other person's tests. So it's only my at-home kids that get to see these versions. And then when I'm done looking at them, I can unpublish that, and then they can't have access to that anymore once I've graded it. So that's a reason why I like it. The downsides to creating your own course is you have to manually add your students, which is somewhat annoying. And then the other thing is the grade books don't link. So with the other ones, the grade books link and you can easily just transfer grades. But to me, I'm given one grade a week. It's not that big of a deal to pull up my two grade books and copy grades over. It helps me to see what's going on. So that's a downside. But the upside is the kids that are gone for a while and have to come back, now we don't have to do crazy, hey, hand me those 20 papers that you missed. You already were doing that online. And I implemented that this semester, and my students did a pretty good job with that. So again, creating your own independent study course, separate than your other one. I still have my other courses. So if I click on my courses tab, this is my normal tab. This is all my sections linked. So it's my in-class sections, and then my students at home, they have access to all the different materials I'm doing in class, but it is the actual assessment part that is different. So that's what I'm doing there. Again, ease for me because I get students at home, all the kids at home on the same page. The downside is I do have to manually transfer grades and then add and subtract kids as they are removed and added to my at home stuff. Hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I will gladly help you however I can. Thanks, guys.